The SEC Championship on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper, brings us Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta for a classic. The Tigers of LSU ranked number 2. The Georgia Bulldogs, only about an hour away from their home in Athens, ranked number 4. Not only an SEC championship on the line here today, but it can be so much more. As you take a look at the college football playoff picture, LSU in the number 2 spot, Georgia at number 4. Oklahoma has stated their case already this afternoon with an overtime win. And with that, we bring you to Atlanta. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brad Nussler. My partner is Gary Danielson. We looked at the college football playoff picture. Oklahoma made their case.
Yes. Now. So what's transpired? You know what this means? The SEC has center stage right now, and these two teams are used to it.
Well, you and I have done a lot of games together. I don't know if we've ever had a classic matchup of strength versus strength. We've got the number 2 scoring team in the country, the number 2 defense in the country in Georgia. And for LSU, it all starts with their quarterback. It's been a remarkable journey for Joe Burrow. First, last year after transferring from Ohio State, he won over his teammates. He's won the hearts of all the fans. At that point, he said, I didn't even know that it meant that much to the state of Louisiana. He even altered his jersey a little bit there on senior day, and that's been the kind of year it has been for him. You know, about a half century ago, one of our favorite players made a name for himself, and it became Broadway Joe. This is Bayou Joe, Gary, and it's almost rock star status right now.
I think so, but you don't get to be a rock star whether it's Broadway or just Joe Burrow without doing it on the field. Now, first, his stats are amazing, but he's been more than just a stats guy. He's been a guy on the field that has delivered leadership, toughness. He's turned this program around. But in this game, in this season, he's done it more than just by himself. He's had a partner. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has given him that other guy like Batman needed Robin. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has come through for this LSU football offense.
You know, everybody's talked about the Georgia defense all year. You and I have even altered our boards a little bit because it's not like they've got a couple of stars. They've got about 20 guys that can play on that side.
They do. All year I've been saying this is a Georgia no-name defense, but the more you watch, the more you find guys that stand out. Tyler Clark, they're all really veteran players at defensive tackle. Just makes plays. And the 2 safeties, Richard LeCounte, number 2, and J.R. Reed, number 20. Those 2 guys, the veterans, have been in big games before. They'll direct this defense.
Ever since we knew what this matchup was, I've told everybody, let's say you can hold LSU to half their point total. Well, that'd be nice, but Georgia's still got to find some points of their own.
If they do hold this LSU offense down, the offense for Georgia has to come through, and I think they have to do it the way Kirby designed this team. Their offensive line, they're massive. He wants to win the line of scrimmage, and he's built and recruited massive offensive linemen. I think they'll attack the edges, but they're not going to do it without their quarterback. He loves this building. These stats here is when he feels most comfortable.
Sellout crowd inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Here comes the 4th-ranked team in the country, the 11-1 Georgia Bulldogs, the champions of the East, making their 8th appearance in the SEC title game. And from Baton Rouge, the 2nd-ranked Tigers, undefeated at 12-0, making their 6th appearance and the first time in this game in 8 years. Jamie Erdahl on the field with Kirby Smart. Jamie.
Coach, without Lawrence Cager for the game, George Pickens in the first half, and a banged-up DeAndre Swift, who do you turn to offensively to produce?
Well, we turn to DeAndre Swift. We turn to James Cook, Jake Fromm, the guys that got us here. We got good players here. We're fired up. Let them go play.
You're a born-and-bred defensive guy. What's the trick to slowing down LSU's offense?
You got to get your hands on them. You got to get your hands on them, get some incompletions.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach said earlier this week he was kind of looking forward to the challenge of going against LSU's offense until he started to watch the film.
And how about that? How this game is called may be important.
Jamie Erdahl has sprinted 53 yards to Ed Algeron.
Coach, Tiger Nation believes you put together a team of destiny. This group seems special to you. What did you just say to them?
You know, just go out and play an LSU standard performance. Let's go play our game. It'll be a tremendous opportunity for our football team. This is a great team. It'll be a great challenge.
When I say this is Joe Burrow's final SEC game. What goes through your mind?
You know, I wish I had him for another year. But, you know, I think he's the Heisman winner. I hope he wins it. I think he's the best player in the country. But, you know, he's worried about winning this game tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Go Tigers.
LSU and Georgia. Tigers won the toss and deferred. The series history, 28 SEC championship game. LSU leads the all-time series. East against West. 2 top 4 teams, but only 1 championship trophy. From Atlanta, let's play ball. And Georgia will work from the 25-yard line. So we take a look at the Dr. Pepper starting lineups. And it all starts with a guy we've been talking about all week and for the last 2 hours on the pregame show. Number 11, making his 41st straight start. That leads all of college football. Jake Fromm. And Jake's had some great moments in this building. Necessarily not wins all the time, but statistically, he's been big in this Mercedes-Benz Stadium over the last 3 trips. And he'll set his team up at the 25-yard line. And Brian Herrien opens up in the Georgia backfield. So all the talk about DeAndre Swift, I'm sure he'll be in there, but he's not going to take the first snap. And it's Fromm to throw, and he's going to go deep. Airs it out. Man's there, and he's in and out of the hands of Tyler Simmons. Should have had it.
That's what's been missing for Georgia. A lack of explosive plays. A couple weeks ago, we saw Fromm miss a couple throws, and this time he makes the throw, and it's dropped.
So they come out with the big play on the opening snap, and it should have been, could have been, wasn't. 2nd and 10. Charlie Warner, the tight end, in the slot on top. They're going to throw it out in the flat to DeAndre Swift. Got a block from Warner, but he only got about 3 yards out of it. It'll bring up 3rd down. Here's the rest of the Georgia offense. Brian Herrien got the start, but it only took 1 snap for DeAndre Swift to come in there. We saw Georgia be excellent on 3rd down against Florida, Gary, and we've seen them have some trouble. And now they don't have Lawrence Cager with the ankle injury and George Pickens for the first half after the fighting penalty against Georgia Tech. So he's missing 2 of his favorite weapons.
And for sure, Cager is a 3rd down guy that Fromm loved to look for on these 3rd and make a 1st down plays.
Simmons will go in motion on another 3rd down and long. 3rd and 9 from the 44. Fromm deep middle this time. That one is caught, I believe, by Robertson. He thinks so. Let's see if the officials, they're going to say no.
Coming off the slot, Robinson's got his hands on it, and it looked like the ball hit the ground, and then he bobbled it. How about that?
And it went right through his hands. He did a pretty good acting job, but not good enough.
That one was not a great throw by Jake Fromm. He had him 10 yards open. He underthrew it.
I was going to say that one he's actually open.
Yes,
he was covered.
He pulled the string on that one. He had him wide open. It happens a lot. It's like an open jump shooter in basketball. Sometimes you'd rather be covered.
Jake Camarda, especially the second half of the season, had an excellent couple of months as a Georgia punter. Would like to keep it out of Stingley's hands. Stingley's just going to let this one go out of bounds, and that wasn't a great kick. And let's see where they spot it. Going to come out past the 25, I think, right around the 26-yard line. As we take a look at our Dr. Pepper starting lineups, and it starts with number 9, Joe Burrow. Sensational numbers. Over 4,300 yards through the air, 44 touchdowns, as he has equaled or surpassed all SEC passing records. And he is the heart and soul of this offense that is averaging almost 49 points a game. And here's the rest of the group that joins him. And Jamar Chase might be on his way to the Biletnikoff Award as the nation's most outstanding receiver. He's got over 1,400 yards through the air and 17 touchdown catches, a school record.
As impressive as those wide receivers are, I still believe Georgia can't let LSU have a 5-man attack. If they don't slow down Thaddeus Moss, their tight end, number 81, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, number 22, they'll be in for a long day.
Georgia's first offensive snap, they threw deep. Let's see what LSU will do on their first snap of the ball game. They'll keep it on the ground to Edwards-Helaire. He got to the edge immediately, and he got maybe a first down. Run out by Richard LeCount. But that's what he's done all year, number 22.
And Jamar Chase does more than just catch balls. He got a good block on the edge that time and allowed Clyde to get outside.
Picked up 9. Defensively for Georgia. We'll see the lineup scroll across the bottom. Monty Rice, the leading tackler for the Dogs. Second down and a yard, empty backfield with Burrow set to throw. Does, completes it to Edwards-Helaire. He's got first down. We talked about the strength on strength, and it doesn't come more glaring than this. Second in the nation in scoring defense. Nobody scored more than 20. South Carolina in a double overtime win got 20. Meanwhile, LSU just keeps rolling along.
And that's exactly what Kirby told us. They put everything together that an NFL team like the Saints have, plus tempo. That's what makes it hard.
First down from the 37-yard line.
They run the New Orleans Saints offense, but with a college flair to it.
Edwards-Helaire in the slot to the left as a receiver. Across the middle, it's batted in the air. Joe Burrow to Joe Burrow. And now Burrow heading to the first down marker and then some. It's going to go as a Burrow to Burrow 16-yard pickup.
He's too good to be lucky, but on this one he was lucky. Also, he's such an aware football player. As I said, his stats are amazing, but he actually plays better than his stats, and that's even hard to say.
Malik Herring got a hand on it, and then Joe Burrow got a hand on it. And they're in Georgia territory. Burrow looking for more, going deep. Man out there, tipped and incomplete, intended for Jamar Chase. And Eric Stokes was with him stride for stride.
And that's the matchup of the day for Georgia. How do they take Jamar Chase away? They're going to match up a healthy Eric Stokes all over the field. Actually, Jamar misjudged this football, and he's great at going up and catching those balls at the highest point. That one he slightly misjudged.
Second and 10 at the Georgia 47-yard line. And now Chase comes into the Tiger backfield. And will come in motion, and Burrow's going to keep it on a quarterback draw. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Devontae Wyatt made the tackle.
One of the reasons that Joe Burrow is going to try to run a little bit last year in their 36-16 win against Georgia, Joe ran the ball 10 times for 89 yards. He had a 15-yard gain in that game. 3 sacks for a loss of 23, but he was effective running the ball.
First third and long for LSU. All the receivers packed in tight, including Thaddeus Moss, the tight end. On the right side is Burrow. Looking to throw deep down the middle, and he got it complete. Harris Marshall for the first down.
Boy, that's tough to do against Joe Burrow. Just a 3-man rush against a guy. Watch, if you look at it, just 3 guys coming in here. A spy player, but he was not a rusher. And a wide open throw. You got a guy that completes 78% of his passes, step into a throw, bad news.
23-yard pickup.
Here's that run stuffing defense, though. And it was Tyler Clark that changed the line of scrimmage again. He's the guy. When you look at him, he doesn't have that defensive line body, but up front, watch them just move the line of scrimmage. Monty Rice is in the middle of it as well. Another emerging player.
DJ Daniel came around the corner to help on the tackle as well. No gain, second down and 10. Burrow and Edwards-Helaire have a look to the sideline.
When LSU changes, Georgia changes their defense.
Play clock down to 3. Just got it away. Burrow, plenty of time. Scanning the field, pointing. Wow. Now he's going to go deep. And caught. Jamar Chase for the touchdown.
cannot rush 3 guys against Joe Burrow. I would say he had 6 or 7 seconds to throw that ball. As good as Eric Stokes is, you're not going to cover these receivers for that long. That strategy is going to have to change.
45th passing touchdown, a new SEC record. He was tied with 44. Didn't take long to break that here in Atlanta. Cade York in for the point after. Up and good. So just 6 minutes into the game, LSU covers 75 yards in 8 plays.
Brad, we all played flag football, right? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I think this got to at least 7 or 8 Mississippi before he threw the ball.
Maybe Louisiana's, I don't know, but it's a touchdown to Jamar Chase. His 18th of the year, Joe Burrow's 45th of the year. The watch party in Joe Burrow's hometown, they're digging it right now. Tigers 7-0. Jamar Chase, his 18th touchdown catch of the year. Remarkable.
Yeah, all of us that watch LSU all year are remarkable. Everything this offense is doing. It's so different, and what a great turnaround Ed Orgeron's put on this football team.
Avery Atkins' kick will sail out of the end zone, and Jake Fromm and Georgia will come back out at the 25-yard line. There's James Cook on the handoff, with Cook and Swift both in there together on that snap.
The thing that we have not talked a lot about in the open and all week is the improvement that Dave Aranda's defense has been making as the season is going along.
Yep.
They pitched a almost perfect game against Texas A&M, and he says, I got healthy players now, can do a lot of moving parts, and the biggest part of it is he has 2 corners that can play man-to-man defense, and he can kind of use his other 9 guys like wild cards all over the field.
Those 2 being Derek Stingley and Christian Fulton. Empty backfield for Jake Fromm, who throws out on the flat. DeAndre Swift, will he get a first down? He's very close. I think they gave it to him.
Another well-designed play by offensive coordinator James Coley. He's had 3 potential big plays, but here's another great matchup that he's maneuvered, getting Swift on the safety, but this time Jacoby Stevens. There's James.
James Cook in the backfield behind Jake Fromm. And he'll hand it off to Cook, who got 2 or 3. Cook, a sophomore out of Miami, younger brother of Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings, wearing his brother's old number when he was at FSU, also number 4. And now he goes split out as a receiver, and Zamir White comes into the Georgia backfield. No DeAndre Swift in this possession so far. Still going. And you hear the chants of Zeus.
Yes. And the chants of Zeus is from the championship crowd here being in Atlanta is about, I'd say, 70% leaning towards Georgia. Bought a little more tickets, a little closer to the area right here, and probably the crowd noise would favor Georgia in this game.
Right. So a 3rd down, but a shorter one for Georgia. 3rd and 3 as they're just shaded into LSU territory at the 49. Brian Herrien back in at tailback. LSU brings some extra people up close. Fromm to throw on 3rd and short. Waiting, deep middle, got it, complete. Dominic Blaylock. And Blaylock holding his knee. Oh boy.
Lined up in the slot that time. When Jake Fromm went to the outside, he got open. But after he caught it, you can see that knee twinged on him. He throws off the coverage, gets it, and then lands. Oh boy.
I don't think I've seen Kirby Smart come out on a field as fast as he just did.
Yeah, yep. You're up in midair, your whole body comes down at the same time and transfers right to that joint.
And that further shortens the receiving core for Jake Fromm and company.
Yep. Cager already down. Pickens with the suspension.
It was a first down for Georgia. So back to the ground to White. And he only got about a yard. If you're wondering why George Pickens is not in the first half of this game, they've had some issues with him. First of all, he didn't start the first half of that Georgia Tech game because of rules team violations. And then he got into this skirmish with Trey Swilling, and out he goes. And so he's out for the first half of this SEC championship game, and they could sorely use him right now. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. He'll be back for quarter number 3. Second down and 9 for the Georgia offense at the 38-yard line of LSU. And that one's knocked down by Caleb Chason. And he almost swallowed that ball up as Jake Fromm threw it right between the 1 and the 8 almost.
If you want to watch some great battles inside, Trey Hill against Tyler Shavin right there. Shelvin against Hill. These two guys are monsters. They've been fighting every play. This time was a quick screen, so it really wasn't one-on-one, but Chason goes up and swats it back.
Was intended or was going to be for Demetrius Robertson.
And one thing Coach O said is we cannot lose the line of scrimmage.
Georgia picked up its last third down situation. There's a draw play to harry him, and that's not going to cut it. He got it to the 35. It might have put it in field goal range, though, for Rodrigo Blankenship. There's the missing wide receivers.
Yeah, story of the season that the young wide receivers kind of got Jake Fromm squeezing the ball a bit, and then it just kind of multiplied from there.
Rodrigo Blankenship has hit 3 field goals this year of more than 50. This would be from 52. A semifinalist, I should say a finalist for the Groza Award, is the top kicker in the country. Let's see if he can score 3 for Georgia here from long range. Rodrigo Blankenship. And did a whistle blow before the kick? Everybody just sort of stopped. The kick is wide left. No good.
I think LSU was playing defense safe. They were not going to allow any trick play, and we've seen Kirby. He loves to come and steal a possession with his special teams. Well kicked, but it just kept turning, and obviously wide.
So a missed opportunity there from 52 yards. Just check in with Jamie.
We saw a big head shake from Kirby Smart when he checked in on Dominic Blaylock, and it seems to be some bad news here. He is getting carted off to the locker room. He's having trouble putting weight on that left leg, guys.
That's too bad, man. Championship game. Everything that goes with it. There's Clyde Edwards-Helaire for a couple.
Well, that's Georgia has to hang their hat on stopping this running game as we watch. Actually, you know, one of the important players is Blaylock's the punt return guy.
That's right, exactly. And Dominique, whose daddy played for the Hawks here in the NBA, Mookie Blaylock. So a sad ending to his day for sure. 2nd and 8. They got a hit on Burrow, but not before he got it to Edwards-Helaire. Good enough for a first down.
I just get the feeling like on half of the pass plays, he looks for Helaire at first. Now this was a hot. He read that blitz all the way, and he stayed ahead of it. And just Monty Rice comes in and goes, "You can hit me if you want, but I'll take a first down."
First down it is at the 48-yard line. Now the play fake to Edwards-Helaire and going deep left sideline. Coverage, is it caught? Yes. Terrace Marshall. Or did he drop it?
Well, he double caught it if he caught it. Ball was underthrown.
Yeah, he caught it twice.
Badly, right off his chest, but good enough to grab it and keep it.
And now they go tempo at the 11-yard line. Edwards-Helaire, they're going to drag him down for a loss of 1. Tay Crowder just kept spreading it out there and got help from his friends.
I'll tell you, Tay Crowder and Monty Rice, they are 2 athletic inside linebackers. Tay Crowder started his career at Georgia as a running back, and he has moved into the linebacker spot and has that speed.
There's the fake, there's the lob, there's a wide open Terrace Marshall. Touchdown LSU.
How about the design on this play? They go the bunch, and that confuses Georgia. A short, tight bunch. He's right here. He comes inside and back out, and Joe says, "Oh yeah, this is real easy." J.R. Reed did not have a chance.
Extra point by Cade York coming up. And it's up and good. And for the 58th time this year, an offensive touchdown drive of less than 3 minutes for the red-hot Tigers of LSU. 65 yards in 5 plays. 7-yard touchdown pass. Burrow's second scoring toss of the day. And it's LSU 14-0. Back at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it's 14-0, and Joe Burrow has thrown his 45th and 46th touchdown passes of the year. I mentioned the under 3-minute drive earlier. There you see the graphic. And that's out of 76 offensive touchdowns. And Georgia's going to have to work now 2 touchdowns back from their own 25-yard line. Jake Fromm's got to answer the call here. Here's a toss to Brian Harry. Harry, good run, out for about 9. So again, limited duty so far for DeAndre Swift. And that brings the first quarter to a close. Kind of a quiet Mercedes-Benz Stadium right now because it's 14-0 LSU. And we'll return to Atlanta after this message and a word from your local station. Back in Atlanta, SEC championship game, and LSU off to a tremendous start through the first 15 minutes. Joe Burrow throwing a couple of touchdown passes. Remember the year that Larry Bird won the 3-point shooting contest at the NBA All-Star game? He put the 3 up and then he just walked halfway to the locker room. Joe Burrow just threw that ball and got, I know that's a touchdown. I'm just going to head over here and relax.
I know, but that wasn't even 3. It was almost like a layup. He let that one go. He knew he couldn't miss that one.
So, 2nd and a yard for Georgia to open up quarter number 2.
Let's see if that offensive line can make a difference. Last year in the loss to LSU, they felt they lost both sides of the ball on the offensive line.
Jake Fromm under center for the first time gives it to Zamir White, and if he got it, he really had to fight for it, I can tell you that much. So a 14-0 hole that the Dogs have dug themselves into, partner. And you know, they went for a 52-yard field goal, trying to get something, and it gave them a short field.
Well, a short field, but you got to. I mean, as many points as LSU scores in this game. And Ricardo had the leg, he just missed it, but you're right. After that, then you got to deal with a short field and a powerful offense.
And it's still 3rd down and short. This time, number 3 gets it. Didn't get much, but he got enough to move the chains.
And LSU has their 2nd defensive line in the game. No starters. They're already going through their first rotation in the defensive line.
So Georgia started early by trying to throw deep on a couple of occasions. A couple of them that maybe could have been big plays, should have been caught, that type of thing. Now they are hesitant here about who's going to be in the backfield. DeAndre Swift comes in, but he just immediately goes to a wide receiver spot.
One correction, Tyler Shelvin, 72, is in at nose tackle, and he is a difference maker.
Now Swift will join Fromm. Actually going to just dump it off to him. DeAndre Swift trying to get to the edge. Spins inside, got good yardage out to the 44-yard line. That'll go as a completion from Fromm to Swift.
Well, I'll tell you, DeAndre Swift, when we saw that game against Texas A&M, he was basically the offense that day. The only dependable player. You could see his skills on that run.
Fromm throws, got it complete to Simmons for a first down into LSU territory. At the 41.
Well, you got bump and run, and you got to attack bump and run, and this time Simmons beats him at the line of scrimmage. Stingley forces a good throw, and Jake Fromm puts it right there, and Simmons catches this one.
Georgia going tempo here a little bit. At least they got up to the line of scrimmage rapidly at the 41 of LSU.
And LSU has substituted their first team defensive line back in the game.
Play action. Fromm loads. Throws complete. Robertson has got another first down. He's collared and dropped at about the 24, but Georgia's got something moving here.
Well, that time Robinson was matched up against Kerry Vincent, the 3rd actually safety corner in the game, and he beats him cleanly. Might have pushed off, but he got away with it.
Meanwhile, Georgia has a first down at the 24-yard line. Trailing by 2 touchdowns. Jake Fromm this drive 3 for 3 for 39 yards, looking for more. Jake throws corner, Harry, an intended receiver, and it's incomplete.
Boy, if he had just stayed inside, he had Kearis Jackson, number 10, breaking to the middle of the field. He made his mistake, made his decision just a little early. Watch number 10 get to the middle of the field. Might have had him. Might have been that Delpit turned as the ball was thrown, but it was close. Good coverage on the play.
Brings up 2nd down and 10, so the first incompletion for Fromm on this series for Georgia. Zamir White in again at tailback for Georgia, and he's going to get the carry, and he's going to get swallowed up by Rashard Lawrence.
He's a warrior. He may be one of my most favorite players I've covered in the SEC. Plays hurt, plays hard. He's not the most skilled player athletically, but boy, he looked pretty good there, didn't he?
He did. The senior captain out of Monroe, Louisiana.
He doesn't have those measurables, you know, running a 4.8 or anything like that, but he just continues to make plays throughout his whole career. Saw him play a game a year ago on one ankle.
Ever since Shelvin slowed down the momentum that Georgia had going, Georgia's going the wrong way. 3rd down at 14 now.
They got to put some points on the board here. They got to get at least a field goal.
Fromm, pressure coming. Throws complete. Simmons got a little bit of it back.
Good smart play that time by Derek Stingley Jr. He was willing to concede the short play. Decent protection, let him catch it, make the tackle, and he did.
So Rodrigo Blankenship will come out. He's 24 of 29 on the year. He missed just a few minutes ago from 52 yards. This will be a 39-yard attempt by the former walk-on and now leading scorer in Georgia history. And he's got 3 more to that record. Georgia gets on the board with just under 11.5 to go in the first half. LSU 14, Georgia 3 here in Atlanta. There's Q, more affectionately known around here as Ugga 10, and Harry Dog behind him. Steve Emsinger and Joe Brady. Joe Brady up for the Broyles Award.
Yep, here's Joe Brady, and there's the veteran Steve Emsinger.
Got an interesting match here. Brady's up for the Broyles Award as top assistant coach, 1 of 5. And Dan Lanning, on the other hand, for Georgia, is also up for it from his defensive coordinator position. Rodrigo Blankenship kicks it out of the end zone, and LSU will go to work at the 25-yard line.
Can they get a stop? Maybe even do a little bit more than a stop for the defense to help the Georgia team.
They'd like one of those havoc plays that Kirby is always preaching about. Burrow throws, got it to Thaddeus Moss for about a 5-yard gain as we check in with Jamie.
Well, Jake Fromm still in the medical tent for Georgia. Several players, including DeAndre Swift, have gone in to check on him. His helmet, though, is in the hands of one of the medical staff, so take from that as you will.
Okay. Well, right now, as Gary said, the Georgia defense has to do its job.
Remember, LSU gets the ball in the second half. They get an extended drive here.
Blitz coming, and it almost paid off. Edwards Elair is hit, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, but Richard LeClout went right over the top of him.
You got it. Dan Lanning and Kirby Smart's defense matched LSU's with a safety blitz that time against the run game, and LeCount was the guy in there early.
LSU trying to go tempo, and they got tangled up with a couple of people. Here's a wide open Justin Jefferson down the sideline. LeCount will bring him out of bounds, but not before he gets a first down.
And Georgia's going to try to substitute again. They better be careful. Looks like they're going to get it done. Hurry up this time, and it worked great. Got that bunch formation, but in the backfield that time was Jefferson. That was what gave Georgia problems.
Under 4 minutes to play in a half. Here comes pressure on Burrow. He got away from it somehow, and now he's running. This is what he does best. All the way to the 30-yard line.
Monty Rice had him nailed with the blitz inside, and that to me is the difference in Joe Burrow and the comparisons to like Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't have that. I'll tell you, that is an athletic play, and one of the reasons why he's so special.
Now he's going right back to the air, and he's going for all of it, and he in and out of the hands of Jamar Chase.
Perfect job by the safety that time coming across. Richard LeCount was able to get enough pressure on the play to help DJ Daniel. He's got a chance. He's getting tugged from behind. You see the grab? Remember what Kirby told Jamie. get our hands on him, and it worked on that play. Got away with one, Georgia did right there.
Burrow in the gun, 2nd down and 10. Edwards-Helaire with him. 3 wideouts and the tight end Moss in the slot right. Using all of that play clock again. Burrow throws calmly to the 25, complete to Derek Dillon. It'll bring up 3rd down.
I'll tell you, every time Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes out, he's taking 2 guys with him. He goes the other way and throws the easy slant.
You don't see double teams on a running back very often.
Nope.
Burrow's going to run with it all the way. He's really close, but he didn't get it. It's 4th and 1. And now does Ed Orgeron have a decision to make or not?
He ran the field goal team on.
So the decision's already been made. Trying to make it 17-3.
Interesting call there. They ran the quarterback draw, and Georgia was ready for it.
Cade York is a true freshman, but he's been good. 18 out of 21 on the year.
Right. Last year's game, Cole Tracy hit 5 field goals to extend the lead against Georgia.
York had 5 against Texas A&M last week. Can he hit this one from 41? That is up and good. 17-3. Number 2 leading number 4 at halftime. Jamie's with Kirby Smart.
Coach, you have injuries piling up and your quarterback is hobbled. Where do you find the spark offensively?
Well, we got to get some guys in the open space. Got to find a way to get some of those guys the ball. You know, Dom's down, Kieris is down. Got a couple other guys banged up, but these kids are fighters. They'll come out and fight.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
17 points in the half. They haven't given up more than 20 all year long for an entire game, and that was their only loss to South Carolina. End of the half, LSU 17, Georgia 3. We'll be back with the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway after this message from your local station. Nightfall here in Atlanta, and the season might fall for Georgia as they trail 17-3. We welcome you back, everybody. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson. Georgia's been playing football for about 125 years. They have lived by the run, Gary, and they got 21 yards in the first half.
Yeah, and it's not like LSU has any many running yards except for Joe Burrow,
Right.
but they don't need it as much as Georgia does in this game. Also, Georgia, no big plays. They had some opportunities. They either didn't catch it or missed some throws.
Well, they're going to get a guy back that maybe can get him a big play. We'll have to wait and see. George Pickens, the freshman wide receiver who's the number 2 choice other than Lawrence Cager for Jake Fromm all season long, is back in after being suspended for the first half due to the fighting and the penalty and being ejected in the Georgia Tech game.
I'll tell you this. If Georgia gets back into the football game, go back to those last 3 plays that finished the half the way they defended LSU. Kept them in the game.
LSU gets the ball to start the 3rd quarter. The kick will hit the end zone, and LSU will come out to the 25. First down for the Tigers. Edwards-Helaire. Tough 2. First half trends in the game. Well, this guy's been trending upward all year long. Joe Burrow, also the leading rusher in the game, by the way. Jake Fromm, 50% of his passes so far, and his first interception since South Carolina. And DeAndre Swift was really a non-factor, and Edwards-Helaire comes out as a wide out to the bottom.
And number 16, Lewis Seen, goes right with him. That's been the matchup all game. Kirby said, "You'll see," and we've seen who it is.
Georgia hasn't trailed by this much all year. Joe Burrow just calmly looking for more. Maybe not so calm now, trying to run away, and again he does. And uses the legs to get a first down. The leading rusher in the game is the quarterback for the Tigers.
Well, I'll tell you, leading rusher in the game, and you said it right, and he's been their rushing attack. Gets pressure, but he's going to run away from Wyatt. No way he can get there, and he gets to the corner, and that's been the game. This Georgia defensive rush, defense against the running game, has still worked. It's been number 9.
This time he throws to a safety valve. Edwards-Helaire, first guy missed. Ronnie Rice trying to stay with him, and number 22 drags him out close to another first down.
Well, remember, this is the same checkoff earlier in the game where he slipped and almost fumbled the ball, and the checkdowns to the outside for the Georgia fan. I don't think there's a better, as good as anybody in the SEC is the tackling for the two safeties for Georgia. They just tackle things in space, and that time Edwards-Helaire was able to elude the defender.
Kirby Smart told us we don't see a lot of third downs on the cut-ups. They go, Coach, how come? He said, you don't get in third down very often. Second and short. That's what makes third down pretty easy, because you get first downs like this. So Edwards-Helaire on the ground picks up the first down. The notable transfer quarterbacks this year. How about Jalen Hurts in overtime wins for Oklahoma after coming from Alabama? And Justin Fields, who was in Athens, backing up Jake Fromm. Right. And Joe Burrow from Ohio State a couple years ago.
And if the score holds here, three of them will have their team in the playoffs.
How about that?
Might even be three potential Heisman finalists in New York.
First down just on the Georgia side of the 50. Play fake by Burrow. Going to go back to Edwards-Helaire, who was wide open in the flat. He's got another first down. And he's going to take J.R. Reed out of bounds with him, and J.R. still holding on without his hat. And
the decision making for Joe Burrow is amazing. The play is designed to go to Terrace Marshall, number 6. He makes the bootleg. He's trying to get the wheel route, but it is covered. So he turns around and makes the throw to the opposite. He saves plays. And there at the end, it was actually Edwards-Helaire that threw the helmet off. He's lucky he got away with it.
And then they had to separate everybody. The coaches for Georgia got in.
And that was a good job by J.R. Reed, not overreacting and get one of those, the second guy penalties, right? We've seen that so often. Just line up and play defense. Great job by J.R. Reed right there.
Most of that 71 yards rushing for LSU is their quarterback. Another first down at the Georgia 34.
52 of the 71 yards by the quarterback.
Burrow throws. Justin Jefferson puts a move on, puts 2 moves on, and spins out for 9 more.
Well, that name in LSU football, brother Jordan, Ricky, the defensive back, and now Justin. He has great hands. He's such a tough matchup. He's so quick when he gets the ball.
We talk so much about Jamar Chase, but he's actually their leading receiver as far as number of catches. And remember, let's get an update with Jamie.
Couple of updates injury-wise. Tyreek Stevenson did not look good on that cart, guys. He had to be carried into the locker room screaming in pain, but the team is telling me it's cramps for him.
Well, that's better news than it could have been. Another first down run for Edwards-Helaire.
It is. And that's this LSU offense controlling the clock, controlling the board. Ball 11 plays, taking time off the clock. It's going to approach over a 5-minute drive here. And pressure back on this Georgia defense to get a stop.
Burrow loads and fires, got it complete. Marshall to the 10. Walter Grant back in, Jamie?
No, he is out for the game with a concussion.
Okay, thank you.
Where do you stop him?
I don't know.
Is it Chase or Jefferson or Marshall? All 3 of them. What an offense this LSU team has.
I'd watch out for number 9 to run this thing. Burrow lofts it too far. Incomplete, intended for Justin Jefferson.
This powerful LSU offense. You look out there on defense, you're trying to beat Dan Lanning, call plays as Ed Orgeron cheers him on. Which one of the 5 guys is going to get the ball, right? I mean, you have no idea every snap is going to get it, or as you said a second ago, Ness, could be the quarterback just keeping it.
Now they've got 2,000-yard receivers, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a 4,000-yard passer. It's never happened before. And it's second down and goal. 14th play of the drive upcoming. Georgia trying to bring some heat on Burrow, and they finally got to him.
Yep, the stand, a huge stand by this Georgia team. And look how fast Georgia substitutes. They get their substituted defense out there in an instant. Inside, boy, big Jordan Davis that time.
Yeah, he can collapse a pocket a little bit.
Can he?
6'6", 330-pounder, and he is a star in the making, just a sophomore.
The discipline of Georgia switching their substituted defense, knowing that it could be fast.
First sack of the day of Joe Burrow. And Burrow all by his lonesome now on 3rd and goal from the 10.
They got the tight end on wide on one side and the running back wide on the top. The receivers are inside.
Burrow flushed a little bit to the right again, throws on the run and low and incomplete, intended for Edwards-Helaire.
I'll tell you, the last 2 stops by this Georgia defense at the end of the half and right here has kept it a ball game.
So that'll bring out the field goal unit. And that means Cade York again. York has hit one but missed one from 48 late in the 2nd quarter.
You could tell by the play calls, Georgia defense, rush defense, that LSU does not believe they can run the ball. You could tell by every call they made.
28-yard field goal attempt by Cade York, the freshman. And this one's up and good. So tack on 3 more, but Georgia got at least the stop they needed to stay within 17, if that sounds good. A 77-yard drive in 16 plays.
Yep.
They used the entirety of what is this 3rd quarter so far and got a 28-yard field goal from Cade York. And now their kickoff man, Avery Atkins, has got it teed up. And he'll sail this one out of the back of the end zone, and Georgia will have to go to work at the 25-yard line. First down, DeAndre Swift trying to get outside, finally does a little bit. Picked up about 12 before he tiptoes out of bounds.
Well, the question was, could DeAndre Swift and the running game help out Jake Fromm? That's a good start.
One play in for Swift, and right back out and Harriet in.
And number 1's on the field, George Pickens.
Yep. Lined up on the right side. Again, he missed the first half after being ejected from the Georgia Tech game last week. Had to sit out the first half of this one. See if he's going to be a factor here in the 3rd quarter. Jake Fromm in trouble. Jake's going to run, and Jake's going to get the first down. So back-to-back runs, one by Swift, one by the quarterback.
And even if you have a sprained ankle, if you can make those 8, 10, 12-yard runs when it's wide open, when you have man-to-man coverage behind you, and you can make them pay for that man coverage because nobody's watching when they're covering their guys.
Jake got 14 on the scramble into LSU territory. Now back to the air, and he tried to get it to Pickens, and Pickens couldn't hold on.
And that's communication. That's the communication that Jake has been struggling with all year. So in sync. Now listen, one more step and the slip by Pickens. See him slip again. We've seen that throughout the game. Perfect throw, could have been complete, but you know, when you're not in sync, and George Pickens, that little slip cost him the completion.
James Cook checks into the Georgia backfield. On 2nd and 10 at the 48. That is Pickens in motion. Late blitz coming from, got rid of it, got it to Cook out in the flat. James Cook, I think he's got the first down. They needed him and DeAndre Swift to be receivers out of the backfield because the shortage of wideouts.
Yeah, I tell you that the confidence that Kirby Smart has in Jake Fromm, he exudes it when you talk to him, and let's see if Jake can pay it off for the coach.
Fromm throws out the flat here, and Pickens is looking for a flag from Christian Fulton, doesn't get it. So number 1 guarding number 1.
The bottom of the play, Fulton, number 1. Boy, it's getting physical out there. Remember, Kirby said, let's see if we can get our hands on them. LSU's doing the same thing, getting their hands on the Georgia receivers. I had my eyes to the other matchup, Simmons against Stingley. Look, more of the same. Look at that. Look at this formation. Like double, triple stack. Hell, it's going to be Wildcat.
James Cook and Zamir White, but it's going to be Cook. I thought he was going to flip it to Fromm, but he didn't. Takes it himself to the 20. Inside the 20 to the 19.
I wonder if we're going to see that later, because it surely did seem like he was in a position to do that. Fromm comes behind. It was like, is he going to get it? No. 3 LSU defenders played safe on the play, though, and stayed with Fromm.
So now 3rd down and 12. just inside the LSU 20.
And do you call plays thinking about 4-down territory here, or do you think one good shot and make it a 14-point game? It'd have to be really close for me. Otherwise, I'm kicking the field goal.
Blitz coming. Fromm throws up in the air. Again, Landers can't hold it.
Contested very strongly. Stingley and then Delpit comes over later. Two great players. Landers is open, gets inside. Perfect throw. Oh, great job by Derek Stingley.
It sure was.
Come on, that's hard. It's hard to play man-to-man all over the field. Don't know where he's going, and he was right there on the play.
So Rodrigo Blankenship, who's 1 for 2 today, will try a 37-yarder here. The one thing Georgia didn't want to do today is settle for field goals. But they need all of them they can get, and they just missed one there.
Oof. That one was missed, very similar to the South Carolina miss in overtime that cost him.
Guy that's been so good for so long and the leading scorer in Georgia history, and he's having a tough day here. 37-yard field goal to try to make it 2 touchdowns, but not to be. And Jake Fromm thought he had a touchdown throw and didn't, and the score remains the same. Well, Joe Burrow, as he did a year ago against Georgia, doing it with his legs. He had 66 yards and a couple of touchdowns last year. He has almost outrushed the Georgia team today with 45 yards on the ground on 9 carries. So it doesn't matter if it's throwing the ball or running with it. And in this case, we show you the athleticism of number 9. He's been special again. There you go. There's the rushing yardage.
Yeah, and last year, even though he rushed for those yards, he really had 89 yards of rushing in the game, but he had sacks for 23. So Fromm's on that bench saying, hang in there, it's still a game.
So in the entirety of the South Carolina double overtime loss, which they gave the Gamecocks 20 points in their only loss of the season, LSU's got 20 right now, and we've still got almost 20 minutes left to play. Here comes the blitz on Burrow. They're giving chase, and he somehow escapes again. And now throws late on the run. Got it! Justin Jefferson. Jefferson gonna run out of real estate, but it's 1st and goal for LSU.
Brad, I want to ask you a question. Can you have 2 Heisman moments in 1 year?
I think after 60 years ago when Billy Cannon won it, I think we just saw the next Tiger to win it in 2019. Look at this play.
He had the Heisman play against Alabama with the run, and this one is his 2nd Heisman moment. He stole that play from Georgia.
9-yard line for LSU. A handoff inside to Davis Price, and he got back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it. So right now Joe Burrow's at 330 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns, 45 yards on the ground.
Again, the difference here from a touchdown to a field goal.
Second down and goal.
Take all of the clock.
Burrow on a crossing route. Got Dillon. He's down to the 4. Derek Dillon.
A little bit behind that time. If it would have been right on him, I think Dillon could have turned up and possibly taken a shot for the goal line. But he had to adjust to the ball. Jefferson coming in. Dillon goes out.
Jefferson says, I'm okay. I got my win back. 3rd down and goal.
You got a lot of space back here. Which one of these 2 guys can get to the corner of the end zone if I was calling a play?
An empty backfield, so if it's not a Joe Burrow run, a pass is coming. But we've seen that run many times before. 3rd down. Quick slant. There it is. Gary called it. Touchdown.
Wow.
Terrace Marshall.
Well, I thought they might go to the corner, but they got an easier throw. They went slots on the slant. Man-to-man coverage on those guys inside. The threat of the run forced Georgia to put one more guy in the box, and he knew he had one of his slots. And he executes it with a perfect throw. That was a good timeout. The Coach O knew how important those extra 4 points were in this part of the game, and he took a timeout to ensure they had the right play on.
The Terrace Marshall's got 2 today. Joe Burrow's got 3. Extra point by Cade York. Up and good. Another drive that took less than 2 minutes, but covered most of the field. 71 of it was on this magical play by Joe Burrow, who hooked up with Justin Jefferson for 71 yards to get it down to the 10. And then on a 4-yard slant, Terrace Marshall, LSU 27-3. Bayou Joe Burrow, another touchdown. 5th straight game with 3 or more touchdown passes and over 300 yards, 339 to be exact right now. Pretty special player in a special season.
Again, he plays, his stats are incredible. He seems to play better than his stats.
Check in with Jamie.
SEC Championship weekend is busy for everybody. Coach Orgeron was at the coaches' luncheon yesterday where he said a really important thing about Joe Burrow. He said he's the most important player to ever come to LSU. Considering all the success this school has had, the players that have come through to the NFL, that is such a striking statement.
Is it ever? And I don't disagree with it.
Me neither, and I'll tell you why. The whole program needed a lift, and they needed a quarterback to do it. And his toughness and what he brought, for years, they couldn't catch up to Alabama. It took Joe Burrow to catch up.
Georgia came in leading the SEC at number 2 in the country, allowing only 10.4 points a game. And LSU has rung up 27, and we still have a lot of football left. And that is intercepted by Stingley.
His quickness is incredible. His hands are incredible. He baited that throw.
2nd pick of the day for the freshman.
I'm going to say Brad's right again. He's not a future superstar. He's a superstar. A year ago, Coach Orgeron said, we've got a special player coming in. Look at him. He anticipates the throw. He looks back, and his hands fights off the receiver. Squatting on the play, gambling on the play like all the good corners do. They have such faith in themselves that they want to make that big play. They squat. They cut underneath. They don't worry about the tackle. They go for the pick 6.
And that is his 6th pick of the year. And at the 13-yard line.
And right now, LSU is playing for the number 1 seed.
And they're looking like it to me.
First of all, I don't see how you can keep them from having it.
I don't either exactly.
Their resume is unbelievable. And I think this whole eyeball test has gone away. Everybody told us last night before the Utah game that the eyeball test said Utah was better. Let's just go with resumes. Nobody knows exactly who the best team is. This LSU team might not beat Ohio State, but they deserve the number 1 seed in my mind.
From the 9-yard line, they can get a first down at the 3.
Gotta finish it. Gotta finish it.
Burrow is sending everybody. They still can't get to him. He'll get a yard before he goes out of bounds. That Stingley interception is 2nd of the game, and you saw his hands. You played with his granddaddy.
I did.
And
I think I had a part of this because I see so many bad passes to him that he had to make those great catches, and it definitely was inherited down the line.
And Ed Orgeron told us flat out he's a 2-way player starting next year. I promised his dad I'd leave him on defense for 1 season.
That'll make him a potential Heisman player.
And of course it will. 3rd down at 5.
Again, bump and run right here. Nobody back there to help. All over the field. They're selling out.
Burrow, the fade to the corner to Jefferson. Touchdown, LSU.
Man-to-man coverage all over the field. Pick your side, pick your matchup, and you got it. Coming right out this way. Watch this. A little bit of pick inside. Actually beautifully done. Did not run into everybody. Don't let the referee make a call. Just kind of create a little traffic. And the Georgia player bumps into his own player.
So Jefferson in the end zone again for the 14th time this year. And it all started courtesy of number 24 with the turnover. Cade York for the point after. Up and good. And with 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter, number 2 LSU and number 9 Joe Burrow, as his mom Robin looks on, running away with the SEC championship game 34-3. Stingley with a pick, his second of the day. A tough day for Jake Fromm. Another special day for Joe Burrow and his talented group of receivers. 34-3. 34-3. LSU making a statement against the number 4 team in the country. And again, Georgia will start at the 25-yard line on the kickoff.
LSU has put the Georgia fans leaving early. There's a lot of empty seats here already from the Georgia fans.
Well, they were about 70-30, and now they're all dressed, disguised as red seats here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where the Falcons will play tomorrow. And there'll be a lot of empty seats for that one too against the Carolina Panthers.
And as good as this is, look at this. Everybody said, come on, Georgia, you cannot expect your defense to hold up, and the lack of scoring punch, eventually it just caved in.
Fromm throws over everybody's head.
Flag
down on Jacoby Stevens.
Yep.
And holding defense number 24, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And if you're LSU, you have to just hang and keep the intensity and finish this game off. The number 1 seed's important.
They call that a holding call on Stingley, not pass interference on Stevens. So just to correct that.
Yep.
Might be the final snap of the third quarter upcoming. Jake Fromm, pressure from the backside. He's hit by Caleb Chason, and the ball is out, but it's going to be an incomplete pass.
Chason lines up on the left side sometimes, on the right side other times. This time he's to the top of the screen. Before we saw him coming from Fromm's right side. This time he comes from the left side, and what a play. That time he beat Andrew Thomas,
who's an All-American type left tackle. Chason has a sack today and almost had. Well, he does have the 2 sacks now.
The muscle, the strength, what I thought might be a part of the game, Georgia could never establish a running game.
James Cook on the final play of the third quarter.
They could never out-muscle this LSU defense.
Tyler Shelvin and Rashawn Lawrence make the stop. A couple of those big heavies on the defensive line, and the 4 fingers are up for LSU. They know they're 15 minutes away from an SEC championship. 34-3 at the end of 3. We'll return to Atlanta right after this message and a word from your local station. That's been all LSU in the SEC championship game here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Commanding lead, the fourth quarter just about to start, 34-3, and Georgia faces a 3rd down and long to open up quarter number 4. 418 yards, more than twice as much, couple extra minutes.
That Georgia offense has finally caught up with them, hasn't it? I mean, they finally fought a quarterback that could stress their defense, and their lack of plays on offense has finally caught up with this team.
Fromm on 3rd down and long, a long day, and a pass is complete to Robertson, but short of the 1st down. This has been a dominating performance by LSU. I mean, they've been that way every time we've seen them this year, but we really thought maybe Georgia's defense could hold them.
And I think the lesson for modern college football is you got to have an offense.
Yeah.
No matter how good your defense is, if you can't score with the RPOs and the pick plays and everything that they do nowadays with the tempo, just having a strong defense is not enough. You need offensive firepower.
And they have got it, and Georgia hasn't today, and they have to go for it on 4th down here, even though it's just a few seconds into the 4th quarter. Need to basically get to midfield. They get it out to Harry, and I think he got it. That's See, Patrick Queen took him out of bounds and took half the Georgia staff with him.
Yep, that little swing pass, same pass that LSU was running to Jefferson, get it to Herron, and gets to the first play. Look at Coach. You know what I'd be telling my team right now if I was Coach O? No targeting, no fighting.
Yeah.
You'll lose the first half of the playoff game.
Here's a toss to Herron, who had to bounce off his own would-be blocker and Wolf. And got something out of that. Got 3 or 4.
If somebody gets into a fight with you, walk away and be careful with your leading with your helmet. We cannot afford to lose a player in the first half of our playoff game.
Just watching Logan and Rashad Lawrence and those guys on that defensive line, man, they are still going 100 miles an hour. Here's a slant to Pickens. And Pickens brought down by Phillips, but he's got it down inside the LSU 30. They could have used him in the first half.
Yeah, it was a selfish play by him doing that in the Georgia Tech game with this championship coming up. Hurt his team. Badly hurt his team. They needed him.
Apologized to the team early this week. Jake Fromm told us. First down. Fromm throws too high and too wide, intended for Pickens. And Jake's picking himself, well, his linemen are picking him up. Amazon Music brings you today's Scholar Athletes. Charlie Warner, the tight end for Georgia, and Calebon Chasen, who's got 2 sacks today for LSU. Amazon Music showing their commitment to the investment of our future by donating $1,000 to Georgia and LSU's General Scholarship Fund. That's Brendan Fatoko's dad, the defensive lineman.
He's easy to spot.
He's easy to spot.
Doesn't need a number.
He does that. He does that Polynesian war dance usually a couple times a weekend, whatever city he's in.
It's working.
It's working. Second and 10. Fromm throws wide side in and out of the hands of Demetrius Robertson. And we welcome you wherever you've been today to join us here in Atlanta. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Iredall, Gene Steratore. And you can't say it's a shocking situation because that's the way LSU has played all season long. But boy, if you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, you look like that.
Just wonder that first pass of the game, Georgia needed the lead so bad in this game to play from in front. That first big potential play and the drop. Just wonder, could it have been a different type of a path for the Georgia football team?
When LSU's playing with the lead, they just keep attacking. Fromm on 3rd and 10. Bringing an extra rusher. Fromm down the middle, incomplete, intended for Pickens. And it's 4th down again. This is what Gary was talking about. The first snap, you wondered if Georgia were going to do what Georgia does, is run, run, run. Nope. Jake Fromm ripped this one, and Tyler Simmons should have had it. And that's just one of a couple just on that opening series that could have made a difference, or at least could have earlier. Another 4th down, 4th and 10. Fromm back shoulder throw, what a catch by Pickens, and that just shows you some of the talent this kid has.
Skill. It was actually offsides on LSU, so he had a free play on it, and Pickens again shows you his potential, why he was a 5-star.
Offside. Defense number 18. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
And could a guy like this have made, there's the offside difference. It was Calebon Chasen.
Well, he wouldn't have hurt him, that's for sure. Look at the skills he has.
Brian Herring with Fromm, high snap. Fromm throws quickly and completes it to Pickens for the touchdown. So they finally get a wide receiver in the end zone. It's their freshman from 2 yards out.
Well, let's see if he learns a great lesson from this thing, the whole thing, and he's a great player next year, because you can see the skill he has. Look at that catch.
A little over 4 minutes on the drive. Rodrigo Blankenship in for the point after. He's hit 197 straight extra points. He struggled as a field goal kicker a little bit today, and this one's up and good. So Georgia goes 75 yards in 13 plays, a little over 4 minutes, and Jake Fromm can still smile. At least that's his 22nd touchdown pass of the year. And here they go with the hurry up, and it's a knuckleball that goes out of bounds, and that's the worst kind of kickoff.
That was as good as LSU could get it. Didn't even get a chance for an onside kick, and LSU gets the ball in great field positions.
And it's Burrow on a late pitch. A little option look this time. Edwards-Helaire, and he's still going. So now it's somebody other than the quarterback who's going to be the leading rusher maybe when it's over.
So here's how this option is. The option is, how long do I wait before I pitch it? Because I'm not running it right here. That's the option. Do I keep it a little bit, pitch it?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire with a 20-yard game just became the game's leading rusher over his quarterback with that one. And we're under 10 minutes. And back in Georgia territory at the 34-yard line. Edwards-Helaire, and again positive yardage. Looked like he was going to get stopped, and he got almost 5. Jamie was talking about John Robinson and Marcus Allen back in the day. There's the look from USC, and there they are now. Marcus doesn't look a lot different,
he
really.
Doesn't. I was going to say the same. Looks like he could suit up and play.
And Robbie's going, Nestler, you're supposed to say the same thing about me.
your old partner.
Yeah, we did a couple games together. Second down and 5. Davis-Price. Burrow thought about running and went down courtesy of Devontae Wyatt.
Wasn't going to take a chance and throw a pass that could potentially be picked. Nothing there, no quarterback draw, and eats it. Oh my God, they're going to go field goal here?
Yes, they are. Cade York try a 50-yarder.
Wow.
Well, his long this year is 52. Trying to make it 37-10 here. Kick on the way, and it got in there somehow.
Edo knows what he's doing.
Cade York, who went 5 for 5 against Texas A&M last week, and just went 50 yards on that one to add to the LSU lead. Well, everything seems to be working. Cade York, a freshman, says, yes, sir. 37-10. And has been the case most of the day. A touchback, although this is a line drive. And Harrian's going to let it go anyway. Second down and 10 for Fromm and company. Inside handoff to Cook. And Cook, positive run. College football playoff sites. The Peach Bowl right here in this building in Atlanta, one semifinal. Fiesta, the other one.
And look where it ends up.
Yeah, in New Orleans, their backyard. And they've done pretty good with that, haven't they? Jake Fromm having one of those tough days, but there's a good delivery to Robertson.
I think you got even Jake Fromm 5, 6, 7 seconds, and Robinson comes clear across the field to catch that one. As you look at those games that they have played in the Dome. I did one of those games. I did this Oklahoma game right there.
Fromm on first down. Going to go deep. And Pickens trying to catch it. Couldn't quite hold it. Tried about 3 times to find the handle.
That's what I mean. LSU plays what LSU plays. That's their defense. Again, physical play all day. They've allowed the defensive backs to hand check and jostle. And both teams have gotten the feel for the game.
They're all in the average of 6'5", 329, but today it hasn't mattered. Because Georgia's done very little on the ground. Second down and 10. They have to pass now, obviously. And Jake Fromm going deep. Simmons, the intended receiver, and Stingley was back there in coverage.
It's tough to keep your intensity up when you're on defense in this game. You look up at the scoreboard, you know you're going to win the game. On offense, you're just trying to get it respectable. But on defense, when you don't have that intensity, it just doesn't work as well.
Right. So it's been the story all day for Georgia. Third down and long, it seems like. And another one here.
Yeah, and LSU is 8 for 14 on third down. Georgia 3 for 12. Big difference in this game.
And And they're still blitzing from him. And down he goes. It paid off. Patrick Queen with a sack.
He was originally blocked pretty well on this play, but he just kept going. His intensity comes right from the middle. Watch him right there. Gets blocked pretty good. Trey Hill gets him. Keeps going, gets him again, and then spins back to make the sack.
Georgia's been good on 4th down today. They got another one. This is 4th and 15. And Camarda will punt. End over end kick. And out of bounds around the 11 or 12, I think. Put it right at the 12-yard line. With 5:45 remaining in the ball game. Kirby Smart knows that his team's chances of the playoff are falling apart here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Well, another special day for number 9, Joe Burrow. Things are going well, and they have gone well all season long. 4 more touchdown passes today to go to 48 on the year. And he's going to lead his team to the SEC championship, something that you'll always have to remember a great season by, and then much more yet to come.
Remember, he got sacked on the last play of the last drive before the field goal. He better be handing the ball off. He cannot get hit again in this game. Let's see if we get a curtain call here for the quarterback while he's out there. We could trot off that. Here comes the curtain call.
There it comes. Yep. What a season. What a game.
What a man.
Boy. He's been fun to be around. So's the whole family, actually. It's been a kind of a great ride for the whole family. His mom, his dad, his brothers, his girlfriend Olivia, the whole group. So Miles Brennan in at quarterback here in the final 3.5 minutes. On the ground, Chris Curry. And Curry getting a little action here late in the game. Well, LSU came in to the college football standings number 2 behind Ohio State. If 37-10 over number 4 isn't good enough, I don't know what is for them to move back to number 1.
I know, and it's important. Now, the number 1 seed has never won the championship from that spot, but this year, considering the power of Ohio State and Clemson and LSU, not to play the other 2. Now, I'm not saying anything bad against, let's say it's Oklahoma, but you know, I mean, if you're choosing who to play,
yeah, exactly.
So the 1 seed, I think, is an important decision.
And Clemson, of course, the defending national champion, haven't lost in for, I don't know, ever, whatever their winning streak is, 27 or something. I don't think anybody really wants to play them, but you got to go through everybody if you're going to win a championship anyway.
I mean, listen, for our old friend Barry Alvarez, he's probably yelling at us saying, hey, what if we beat Ohio State here?
I know.
So for our old friend, we'll say, well, they'll have to talk about it, right?
Yes, exactly.
Wisconsin versus Oklahoma.
Down near 2 minutes. Miles Brennan to take the snap. Chris Carey to carry the ball. And out across the 40-yard line. Don't forget, coming up after our game, Adam, Rick, and BJ will have scores and highlights on the college football postgame show presented by Rocket Mortgage from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Where number 2 and number 4 got together today, and number 2 in resounding fashion about to win it.
I'll tell you, that play of the game, when it was still a ball game, when they had him sacked twice, when Burrow makes that 71-yard.
You trying to give away the play of the game?
No, I don't know if it is or not. but that was the ball game right there. That was when the game ended for Georgia. A sack there, still a game.
And down under a minute to go. Georgia's not going to stop anything here, even with the timeouts.
And Kirby even punted on 4th down there with the score. And right now, really, you know, LSU, if they wanted to, could just take a knee.
Georgia's going to fall to 3-5 in SEC championship games. And they'll fall to 1-3 against LSU in those contests.
LSU's got a better team, right?
They do.
Top to bottom, better team.
And LSU is going to go to 5-1 in SEC Conference Championship games, as Miles Brennan will do the honors with the victory kneel. And that will do it. West over East, and LSU is 13-0. Geron. How about that? 13-0. Coach O. Heck of a performance to win the SEC champions, the Tigers of LSU, here in 2019. And the Heisman Trophy will go to that man, I predict, and it won't even be close. Derek Stingley, a couple interceptions. Joe Burrow, a hug with Jake Fromm. 4 touchdown passes for Joe on the day, 48 on the year. And the streamers are purple and gold, much to the chagrin of the red and black Georgia backers. And there's 2 guys with a lot of respect for each other. And one had the kind of day to remember and one didn't. And Grant Delpit back and healthy and happy. And the LSU defense does its job as well today. Let's go down to Jamie.
Coach, Brad Nessler just said it best. 14-0 Geron. How does this season feel to you from a big picture?
Just so proud of our football team, our coaching staff. Again, so happy for the state of Louisiana and LSU, but we said tonight, this is not our final destination. Wherever they tell us to play, whoever they tell us to play next, we're going to be ready.
Well, along the way, there may be a New Orleans trip, Coach, so we'll see you when we have the trophy presentation. Joe, you just had a little exchange with Coach about who would want the game ball. Why did you want to give it to your head coach after a game like this?
No, he deserves it. He's done so much for this state and so much for this university. I love that guy. If you don't want to fight for him, something's wrong with you.
You just went through your SEC season. You got a couple weeks off before you play again, but before that you have a Heisman Trophy presentation. Do you feel like you put a campaign together to bring that trophy home?
You know, that's for other people to decide. You know, we put the film out. We're 13-0. That's all that matters to me.
We still have to give you a trophy. We'll see you on stage.
Thank you.
Now here's what Jamie's talking about. The game ball goes to the coach. Goes to Burrow and then right back to the coach with his wife Kelly behind him saying, we got a spot for that somewhere in the house.
It was his vision, and he believed it when a lot of people didn't believe in him, and he got his team to believe.
Well, Joe's already won 1 award, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm, as you saw on that banner over there on the sideline. There's more trophies to come for Joe Burrow, trust me. 37-10, SEC champions for 2019, the Tigers of LSU from Baton Rouge. For Gary Danielson and Jamie Erdahl, I'm Brad Nessler saying so long. Final score 37-10. College football postgame show presented by Rocket Mortgage. Coming up next after these messages.
Save the last one. We're going to be on here.
Good evening, Atlanta. We are here to congratulate and award the 2019 SEC Championship to Louisiana State Universities. To no one's surprise and to everyone in Louisiana's pride, Joe Burrow is your MVP of this game.
Congratulations. That's yours. Well done, man.
Well, the only thing we have left to do is award a 2019 SEC champion trophy, and I will allow the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey, to do so.
Thank you, Jamie. Let me say thank you to the fans of the SEC, the greatest fans in college football. Thank you, too, to the fans from the University of Georgia tonight, to a great team for a great season. Congratulations to them on their Eastern Division championship. Now it's my privilege to present to Coach Ed Orgeron and the LSU Fighting Tigers the 2019 SEC Championship Trophy. Congratulations.
That's it for us here in Atlanta. Your 2019 SEC champions have hoisted their trophy. This stage is rocking. Have a good evening, everybody.